Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 24th at about 4:30 a.m. I just took 3 medications, Buspar, bupropion, and duloxetine.
When I have an episode of hallucinations, I will hear these very loud voices very close to my ear. It's almost like a whisper, but it's loud. If I had to describe it, it was like if a shadow could yell.
Feeling a little deflated. I'm really stressed out. And stress really exacerbates the symptoms of schizophrenia.
I have some concerns with anyone standing directly behind me. I have also seen these like shadows on the walls that come along with the voices, like a monster clawing across the wall. My name is Allie Burke, and I live with paranoid schizophrenia. The mornings are hard, especially, during the week. I mean, it's hard for anyone to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Me having to take antipsychotic medication, it's really hard to get up. I set like 5 alarms in the morning. And sometimes I still can't get up, and my dad will come in and be like, "Don't you have to go to work?" I am 32 years old, and I live with my dad. Paranoid schizophrenia is a brain disorder which can cause a multitude of symptoms. The way that it manifests with me is paranoia. I am afraid of being poisoned. So I have some concerns with, anyone like standing directly behind me, being too close to me, and also leaving my drink down where I can't see it. So that is an everyday thing for me, even with medication. Something that the medication has helped me with is the hallucinations, such as the voices and the shadows that I see. I do, on occasion, still hear voices. It's in a language that I can't understand, and there's another voice that tells me that I'm useless and worthless and not worth anything, and that I should just quit and give up everything that I do. So I take these 3 medications in the morning. There are 2 antidepressants and 1 anti-anxiety. Me being tired is definitely a side effect of the antipsychotic medication that I take at night. My boyfriend and I are going to see a movie today. This morning, before the movie, I'm going to work on some stuff. I'm the senior VP of a nonprofit organization. Stigma Fighters essentially is a platform to give people with mental illnesses a voice. I do work a lot for the day job, and then I have my writing stuff, and I'm working on a couple projects right now with a couple other people with schizophrenia, so it's a lot. It's a lot to do, and not enough time in the day. No wonder I can't see. I never really realized as a child that there was something potentially wrong with me. I just thought that's one of those scary things that you have to deal with when you go to bed at night. The monsters come out, and that's really how I looked at it. Fast forward a little bit, I was in college, and I started hearing the voices while I was taking a test. And that was the first time I had ever heard them during the daytime. The next couple years were really difficult. They started getting worse and worse, and I started seeing these like shadows around. So eventually I went to see a psychiatrist, and they prescribed me some medication, which would be many, many years of me trying different medications and trying to figure out what worked for me. That time, they diagnosed me with schizoaffective disorder, but a couple years later, they changed it to paranoid schizophrenia. It's very scary to know that at any time, something could happen where you're going to see something that maybe other people don't see, or you're going to hear something that other people don't hear. It's not 100% that I can predict that I'm going to have an episode today. It is going to happen sometimes. And that, I think, is just the nature of how the disorder affects me personally. But there are triggers that I have identified for myself, which includes like stress and feeling overwhelmed. I don't know how conclusive this is, but there's some information out there to suggest that smoking or vaping can reduce the side effects of antipsychotic medication. It keeps me calm, especially in high stress days. The internet has been very helpful in connecting with people with schizophrenia. A friend of mine found me on my Facebook page. He's an artist, and he actually made an illustration of me. These are the medications that I take. There's books there because he knows that I'm obsessed with reading. It was very difficult at first because I didn't have insurance. My first doctor was trying to work around that. And at the time, the medication that worked really well for me did not have a generic. It's taken me pretty much since I was 26, probably till I was 31, to get the right mix of medications. So these are the two medications I take at night. Zyprexa is the antipsychotic, and the Ambien is the sleeping pill. I do come out here a lot. I love the flowers. I grew up in this house, so it's a good environment for me. I have no idea what any of this stuff is, but it's all so beautiful, so I love it. Come here. Come on. If I'm having like a bad day or I'm having some symptoms, I can just get close to the animals and they'll always be there. They love you unconditionally, no matter what you're going through. So come on, in or out? In or out? Okay, pick one.
Hi, Allie.
Hello. It's good to see your face.
It's good to see you too.
So I wanted to give you a call and talk a little bit about the book that we discussed, kind of about, our experiences with schizophrenia.
I had a couple of suicide attempts when I was psychotic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important to include in my backstory as well. I mean, people saved my life.
Right.
And I'm so thankful to those people, those strangers that
Right.
stepped in and literally acted and saved my life. So
Yeah.
I probably include that in my backstory.
I personally didn't know anyone with schizophrenia when I was diagnosed. So I think it really helps to have someone to relate to and to give you advice from time to time. I'm going to my boyfriend's house. We were together for 2 years. We took some time apart because of how I was struggling with schizophrenia. He pays attention and kind of knows when I'm having a hard time, so he is amazing.
Want me to drive or you?
I'll drive.
Okay.
I don't know that we've ever seen an Avenger movie together in the theater, have we? We weren't able to get tickets in the very back, which is usually where we sit because my paranoia makes it difficult for anyone to be behind me. But they weren't available, so I am a little cautious about going, but I'm a huge fan, so I'll have to suck it up. I was living with Delon. I was just really struggling with mental health. I was in a bad way. I was depressed. I was anxious. I didn't feel as if I was in a position to support him in a relationship. So I said, I'm going to move in with my dad and see how that goes. And of course, we found each other again about 5 months ago, and it's been absolutely amazing. Spend every moment we can with each other. So I do sometimes regret leaving, but at the same time, in the state of health that I am in now, I really feel that it was the right thing to do, both for me and for him.
You know what you want to get?
What are you getting?
Check this out.
I know, you didn't know they had that here? So when I walk into a restaurant that's, kind of busy, for example, I would usually look for a table like this, which I think is very lucky today because you can't always find them. It's fear, really, that someone is trying to harm me. Someone is standing behind me trying to harm me.
And it's funny because yesterday that she was telling me that I was good with making sure that she gets a booth or something against the wall. She said I'm good with it, but actually, to be honest, it comes naturally. Okay.
Okay. I know it's not rational for me to not want to look away from my drink at a restaurant, but I can't shake it.
Okay, this one your pad thai noodle.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I do have plans to move in with Delon. Besides my dad, I couldn't think of a better person, more supportive person to start a life with. I'm very fortunate because not everyone with this illness is able to access medication like I can. I don't know where I'd be today without my insurance. I'm in my 30s and I live with my dad, but my fear is that I won't be able to work and I won't be able to qualify for a disability and, I won't be able to have a home or have a car. That fear comes from people that are in that situation. There are people with schizophrenia who don't have a home and don't have anyone to support them. It is a very real thing that's going on in our world and it scares me.